And it may be that in some cases we can avoid development that generates school children, such as with group homes and senior housing.
Mm-hmm.
But the state limits how many of those we can do in our housing plan, and they essentially mandate that significant majority of our housing plan include units that are designed for family occupancy, non-age restricted, which means that whether it's done here or whether it's done at some other site, it has to be done, and there will be, in all likelihood, a fiscal impact from that type of development, and in many cases it will be a negative fiscal impact, but we don't have a choice, is what I'm saying.
I understand that, but I also wonder about the marketability of these units being so close to the power lines. I have a son who shopped for a house and didn't buy a house because it was under power lines. John, you work with real estate. Do you find that people don't buy homes when they're too close to power lines? What if he builds these units and he has trouble selling them? Are these going to be rentals, or are they going to be condos or townhouses?
I'm imagining we can't regulate that. At the time that the developer gets an approval, he will have to commit to one or the other, at least for the affordable units, because there are restrictions on, there's rules that apply to rental versus sale units on affordables that we'll need to lock down at the time of approval. Concerning the market rate units, which will be 19, the township is without recourse to limit the type of tenancy, whether ownership or rental. I believe the original intent is rental units, but the developer has indicated there's a possibility they could go to condo at some point in the future, but we don't know and we can't control it.
I mean, if he builds them, he builds them, but he's also taking the risk that he won't be able to market them.
Well,
being that they're so close to the power lines.
That could be true on a number of grounds, but I will note that the state regulates electromagnetic field emissions, requires certain distances of power lines from the limits of the power line right-of-way, and regulates the health standards that apply. There are many locations in Hanover Township where there's power lines that run adjacent to residential properties, even through properties, where the backyard is in a power line right away. And I'm not aware of any situation where they have not been able to sell. It may affect the value. I can't speak to that. You'd need, an appraiser to speak to that.
Do we have any ordinances in town that regulate the setback lines from power lines that you're aware of?
No, I mean, the way it's right now, there are properties, we could show you on the tax map, there are properties where the backyard is in a power line right away. And the building itself can, by state regulation, abut the right-of-way for the power line. That's why the pole can't be right on the power line.
What is the right-of-way, 50 feet? The right-of-way is about 50 feet?
In this one, I think it's more than that. It might be 60. I'm not sure what it is, but it's something along those lines.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Carol, to answer your question, the overall income from that complex is estimated to be between $20,000 and $25,000 overall. So if it did cost $14,000 per pupil, you can do that. Of course, if you add one more pupil to the classroom, it's not going to cost $14,000.
Right.
So, but $20,000 to $25,000 income from overall would be what you're looking at. But ironically, again, $20,000 would be probably the income from 2 new homes in Hanover Township versus these 24 apartments.
Thank you.
I'd like to add another point on that too, Carol. When I noted that power line pole is 28 feet from the back of that house to that development to that pole itself, the wires extend 10 feet. I went out and I measured it. I walked it and I measured it. So you're not just talking about 28 feet. You're talking about those power lines being just about over that whole piece of property with about 18 feet exposed without any exposure to the power line directly.
Yeah, we talk about COA housing and providing for low and moderate income families, but what are we doing? We're putting these people next to a dangerous situation with the power lines. We don't know the outcome. You know, years down the road, something, you know, may come out of this that, you know, it is actually, in fact, dangerous, especially to young children growing up who are there 24 hours a day. So I'm not going to even risk the life of one child, whether they're upper echelon or whether they're a low or moderate income family.
Any other member of the public wishing to be heard at this time? Name and address for the record.
Hi, my name is Sharon Marabella, and I'm at 409 Paper Mill Drive. I just recently purchased a condo at the D.R. Horton property. I would like to know how far this proposal is going to be from the clubhouse and the pool that's scheduled to go in for next summer.
100 feet, 110 feet
Where is the,
from the parking lot to this building itself. About 110 feet.
where's the clubhouse proposed to be?
Right over here.
On the other side of the power lines?
I don't think so.
I'm sorry?
Maybe
Yeah.
place
On the other
it.
side of the power lines is where the clubhouse and parking lot is for our
The
conference.
clubhouse is on the opposite side of the power line
That's what I'm
from
saying. It's on
the,
the
Right.
other
yes,
side of the power
yes.
line.
Oh, from the proposed apartment.
Exactly.
Oh, I thought you
Yes.
meant from Horton.
No,
No.
Yeah, it's on
No.
the same side of the power lines as Horton is.
yes.
Gotcha.
We, you know, I don't know the exact dimension. If George has measured it from a plan, then it's, I would say it's at least 100 feet. I don't know how much
No, I
more.
went out there and measured it from the plan, and I also used the 1 inch by 44 by 1 inch on this diagram here that I received on this building plan. So I don't have it from the clubhouse. I have it from the parking lot to the end of the building. I don't have it from the clubhouse. I think the clubhouse is here.
And these apartments, if you're looking at Paper Mill Drive, if you're looking at Route 10, they're not horizontal, they're vertical.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'm just concerned that it's going to impact my property value, especially if they're going to be adding the affordable housing component. And that, you know, did I just overpay for my house then, not knowing that these apartments or these units are going in?